This is a Global Original Podcast. Oh, I think you're going to like this one. It was the day after our glorious exit from the evil European socialist superstate, and people were in a great mood, including me. We joshed about some invisible thing infecting people in China, and I was all fired up and full of beans, literally and figuratively. This show was a hoot.
Right, so what are we doing?
Carol, we're struggling. We're just struggling along and making the best of it that we can. I should wipe up some texts and tweets and emails from last night because I'm a good boy, I am. Peter says, the notion that we have regained independence is full of holes. If we weren't an independent country already, how come the EU have allowed us to leave? Well, that's an interesting point. They could have padlocked us to a radiator and turned the lights on, and we find that we're sitting in a basement that we've never seen before, and there's a saw across the room.
Warning, warning.
I lasted about 5 minutes with that film. I thought, this is not a film for me. I'm going to switch it off and watch something more pleasant, like anything else. How did it end, by the way? No, wait, don't tell me. Minty tweets, what about the undemocratic Lisbon Treaty? Countries voted against it and it was pushed through anyway. Well, a couple of countries voted against it. The vast majority voted for it, and that's what you call democracy. It's not dictatorship, Minty. Steve says, these Brexit guys sound ill-informed. I think an IQ test should be mandatory before you vote. Well, I'll go one further, and I've said this before. You don't mind if I repeat myself, do you?
Yes.
People should take a test before they procreate.
Disgusting.
Keep your hands to yourselves, kids. Joseph tweets, if leavers are afraid of immigration so much, when they find out that Irish people can come here to the UK and bypass passport control entirely upon arrival, they're going to be furious. Or does the fury only kick in when it's involving people of non-Caucasian origin? No, Joseph. No, it most certainly does not. I think it kicks in when it involves people with a funny accent, which, of course, includes Ireland. Arr, arr, arr. An anonymous missive says Deutsche Bank has just taken out a 25-year lease on massive premises in the City of London. But you won't mention that, will you? I absolutely certainly will not mention it. You can't make me. I don't want to. Well, you're completely wrong about that. They haven't just taken out a 25-year lease. They did it 2 years ago. And now they're finding themselves with downsizing, that they have about 500,000 square feet that they're struggling to fill. But you won't mention that, will you? 0345 6060 973. So we've wiped up the fractious messages from last night, and now we can move on. Yes?
No.
No. We're going to be talking about Brexit from now until the end of time. I think that this is one of the reasons that people are freaking out about the mad bat virus from China. It's not going to kill you. It's just a virus. It doesn't kill very many people. You're more likely to die climbing a ladder. I don't know that that's true, but it doesn't prevent it from being a fact. Actually, it's not the climbing part what you should be concerned about. It's the falling down bit. I bet biting your nails is more dangerous to your health than catching the mad bat disease. It's about 1-2% death rate. That's nothing. You know, the human race needs wiping out in vast numbers, and 1 or 2% isn't going to do it for us. We need much more than that, something a bit more Black Death-like. We need vast swathes of the population of the world to be scythed down. Anybody want to do that for us?
I'll bring us into war.
I bet you will, Donny. I bet you will. By the way, the Republican Party are going to acquit him. They're going to pronounce him innocent in the first trial in history that doesn't require any evidence. And what more evidence do you need that there has been a far right-wing coup in the United States of America? About the last country on earth that you would think that that'd be possible. A bright orange bag of bile, a game show host off the television, just lumbered in and took over. America is a dictatorship now. If the leader can do anything he wants and get away with it because of the supplication of his party that he took over, then it is a dictatorship over there. And we are going to be crawling across the floor to this screaming Mimi begging for a trade deal. What could possibly go wrong?
Donald Trump is not a nice person.
I don't doubt it. Kelso tweets, all day listening to the same thing. We're not racists. Some of my best friends are Polish. They're hardworking and kind, but there's just too many of them. Give us a break, will you? Says Kelso. And that's break spelt B-R-A-K-E. Oh, I'm sorry. You fail. Also, 3 emojis of a little round yellow face crying with laughter. People, please stop using emojis. If you're over the age of 15... stop using emojis. This says, I use emojis all the time. You use them or you pick them? He picks them and flicks them. I use emojis. How old are you?
25.
Okay, well, that's 10 years too old. Stop using emojis. It's childish. They're cartoons. The entire human race seems to be regressing. It's 1 step forward, 2 steps back. I'll prove it to you. A couple of decades ago, kids used to dress like their parents. You remember? You look at any black and white picture and the parents will be... hang on, I'm going to cough. That's better. The parents will be in a brown tweed suit. Of course, you can't tell brown because it's black and white. And I don't like brown, but they'll be in a tweed suit and a tweed cap. And it'll be a 3-piece suit. Some formless thing that looks like a material that once held potatoes. Oh, hang on, I'm going to burp. Oh, blimey, it's all happening now. Whoa. Oh. Beans for dinner. I'm fouling my own personal atmosphere. I just had an apple before I came on the air, and there was something not quite right about it. You know when you eat an apple and you swallow it and you think, oh, maybe there was a foreign body in it.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and that taste just sticks with you about a very, very sweet, highly strong cup of coffee. Maybe it was a bit too strong. This is my mind right now. Yeah, maybe a little bit too strong. But even the taste of that didn't get it away. I'm thinking about the oysters that I had the other day. Oh, feeling a little bit bilious, a little bit peptic, dyspeptic. Anyway, what was I? What was I talking about?
Trump and Brexit and plague and...
Oh, yeah, plague, yeah. But I'd moved on from there. What was I talking about then?
We've been everywhere.
Oh, no, here, there and everywhere, baby.
I've lost track.
Well, you weren't listening, were you?
I was on a call.
Oh, my God. He's in there listening to Classic FM. I know it's relaxing. I'm trying to do a show here. So, okay, let's backtrack. I should throw bits of bread behind me so I can get back to where I used to be. So we did America. Donald Trump is the fascist dictator that we're going to have to crawl across the carpet and beg for a huge and tremendous trade deal. And he's not going to give it to us because that's not who he is. Have we learnt nothing? And then, the plague. Was I talking about the plague or had I done that already? It ain't going to kill you. 1 or 2% death rate is nothing. We need something much more serious than that. I'd say about 10-20% of the human race needs to go right now. Who's with me? Hands in the air. I'll restate my case. I think that we are the luckiest human beings that have or will ever live. You know, barring some cataclysmic event that takes care of billions of people, shortly there will be too many of us. When wars are fought over land, that's one thing. But when wars are fought over water, different. When you're in immediate danger of instant death, then the war becomes serious. And people will use they'll use their big, shiny red button, the one that he's got on his desk. Glenn in Tipton says, this is the guy that does all capital letters and 56 exclamation marks. I don't think I can be bothered. You're a troll, Glenn. Get back under your bridge. Rich in Cornwall says they're having a democratic election in November. Well, that remains to be seen. I very much doubt it. It'll be democratic like our referendum was democratic, by which I mean it wasn't. It was fixed, and that's going to be fixed too. And people should watch Bill Maher. He's an excellent talk show host. We don't have anybody like him here, which is a shame. We just haven't got the talent, it appears, to be funny about politics, and he is. But he also says some very, very good and truthful things. And he's been saying for a long time that if Donald Trump loses the forthcoming election, he isn't going to leave. And the more I think about it, the more that sounds true. He isn't going to leave. I mean, wind back to the election that he thought he was going to lose. And of course, he actually did in real terms. He got 3 million fewer votes than Hillary. When he thought that he was going to lose, he started telling the demented yeehaws that show up to his safe space rallies, those people, he started telling them that it was a fix. It was fixed. It was rigged. And that's going to happen all over again. He ain't leaving. I'm absolutely convinced of it. So, everybody should be on full alert because the far right seem to be having a real moment. And that should be squashed like a bug. Maybe that's the wrong analogy. It should be put out like a fag. Craig says you were talking about kids wearing brown suits. That's right. Yes, so to finish that thought, I'll prove to you that the human race is regressing. Look at an old picture of, say, the 50s, the 40s, even the 60s. When people have convinced themselves that the 60s was all, it was happening. Groovy. And the people were having a great time. Yowza. No, they weren't. The 60s was exactly like the 50s to almost everybody in the country, apart from the personal friends of the Twig. What's her name? Twiggy. Twiggy. And that Cockney photographer. Apart from them, nobody was having a great time in the 60s. That was just in the films and on the telly. People were dressing in brown tweed as adults with flat caps. And so were their children. Children aspired to be grown-ups. Hang on, I'm going to cough again. That's better. Children aspired to be grown-ups in the good old days. Now, having regressed a couple of decades, grown-ups are dressing like children. Wandering around town in romper suits, we are. With shoes so bright you could see them from space. Look at the state of us. I mean, pretty soon we'll be wandering around in nappies. Actually, that happens already. Have you ever been to Blackpool and seen stag doos? Men just wandering around wearing nappies with dummies in their mouths as though nothing is wrong with that, as though it's all perfectly normal. I guess once you've worn that for a couple of hours out in public, you stop reminding yourself that you're actually dressed as a big baby, and you just get on with life, which makes it look doubly weird. You know, picking postcards, having a pint, that kind of thing. Where do they keep their change?
People are laughing at us all over the world. They think we're stupid, and we are. I mean, we're being led by stupid people. We're being led by people that don't have a clue. They're incompetent.
I can't believe I'm about to say this, but I agree with Donald Trump.
Oh, shut up!
0345 6060 973. Patrick texts, with way too many emojis, "Stop it, people." He says, "We got rid of the hated EU, but we've become a colony of Donny across the pond, bullied by him, so we are still slaves. What do you think?" Says Patrick. I think it's a pretty rum-do, is what I think. I think you are completely correct in every respect, apart from the hated EU part. We didn't hate the EU. Even at the very end, more people in this country thought positively about the European Union than thought otherwise. But as has been established, we are being led by those who shout the loudest, not by those who make any sense. Yeah, it's not like we'll become the 51st state of the USA, because being a state comes with benefits. It's worse than that. We'll be a wholly owned subsidiary. We'll be like the person that dusts Donald Trump's knickknacks. Hey, Melania, somebody else is dusting your husband's knickknacks.
I don't care.
Not remotely bothered. Neef, Noah.
Hello, Nicholas. Is
Neef?
your
Where's Neef?
near Swansea?
Is it?
Yes.
Well, it sounds a delight.
Oh, you don't have to live here.
Oh, come on, it can't be that bad. Near Swansea, that sounds nice.
Oh, it's worse.
Like I said, awful place.
I'm just wondering, is your body ready for some kung flu fighting?
Kung flu fighting? Kung flu fight... What?
Kung flu fighting.
Kung flu fighting. Everybody goes kung flu fighting.
Yeah, I hear it's a little bit frightening, so we'll need expert timing to avoid contact.
That's right, expert timing. The thing about timing is, it's the secret of comedy.
Yeah, but isn't it funny that a day after Boris holds a cabinet meeting in Sunderland, Newcastle catches the Wuhan fever?
I just rather amused that they made a big show about going to Sunderland. And of course, Boris Johnson did his usual photo opportunity routine, blowing glass. He was. Why? Why on earth did he do that, other than to get his photo in the paper? God, he's like one of these Instagram influencers, just desperate to get his picture everywhere. It's all right, Boris. We know you're there. We can see you.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
It's just, it's pathetic. Anyway, what was the question? How you feeling, Noah? Has your sky fallen in yet?
No, not yet.
Not yet. Okay. Well, fingers crossed.
I've decided to be amused by all the hysteria of Wuhan fever.
Right. Okay. Well, at first you're amused, then you're petrified. Just
and
wait.
I'm terrified.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks a lot, Noah. I'll see you in A&E. People are freaking out about this thing. I mean, it's not as deathly as SARS. You remember the SARS thing, don't you? I think people were kissing chickens or something like that, or eating them, or hanging out with them. What was it? Were they hanging out with... made friends with a chook. This anonymous text says, David Bailey was the photographer. That is completely correct in every respect. David Bailey was that photographer. I never saw a David Bailey picture that I thought much of. I thought he was just... what was it? Real harshly lit, black and white, close-up portraits. How do you make £1 million doing that? There didn't seem to be any art in them. All the blooming same. Not that I know anything about anything. Oh, by the way, talking about art, I'll speak about art for the next 50 seconds.
Boring!
Or less. It's amazing how little people are interested in art, and yet they're our number one tourist attraction, art. The British Museum and the Victoria and Albert Museum, which I went to just the other day, they got an exhibition about cars. Oh, it is great. It really is. If you're interested in cars, or just design in general, then the exhibition they got going at the Victoria and Albert Museum at the moment about cars is tremendous. They've got some really incredible cars there. I mean, they've got posters and adverts and design material and no end of films. There's this really scary film inside what could be a Japanese car factory. It does look like something out of the Terminator film.
Affirmative.
And that's our future. Really, really scary. Like no human being is in shot at all. Just these giant machines that move at great speed with incredible precision. We haven't got a chance. Human beings are excess of necessity at the moment.
Affirmative.
Yeah, just wait. You're about to be terminated by a robot.
Correct.
John says, let's move on. Bongs, blue passports, fish. We can talk about this forever. Hey, somebody emailed me the other day about, last night. I did a show from 12 till 3 last night after the momentous event of our leaving. And a caller said, our true blue British passports, the only pictures they got inside are of England. which I thought was quite instructive, really. It gives you a clue as to why many Scottish people are irate with the English, and with justification. We treat them as subordinates. But so that's pretty alarming. It's not a British passport. It's an English passport. Rubbing your face in it, they are. Mick says, "Is your Glasgow weather forecast cancelled due to Brexit?" No, not necessarily. I'll do the thing while you wait. If my phone can recognise my fingerprint. Nope. No. Come on, it's my finger. Damn it. Open. One moment, please. Oh, let's see. Oh, well, you know what? It's not that bad. Raining tonight and raining tomorrow and raining on Monday. And then, get ready and grip onto something firm. Sunny on Tuesday. What? Actual sun on Tuesday. But it does say warnings issued. What does that mean? Too much sun. Oh, yellow warning for wind. Then cloudy on Wednesday, cloudy on Thursday, cloudy on Friday. Raining on Saturday and Sunday and Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday and Friday. So you've got 3 days when it won't rain, and then the normal service is resumed. All over you. Louis tweets, "Download Plague Inc. and you can create your own Black Death." I've got no idea what that means. What does that mean?
It's a video game for tablet.
Okay, stop. That's all I need to know. A video game.
Oh, fabulous.
You see what I mean about the regression of the human race? Adults are now dressing like children and playing video games. For crying out loud. Does anybody read a book lately?
No.
The only reason people go in a bookshop is because there's a cafe in there. I know I do. This says, "I'm 50 and I use emojis all the time. I love them," says this person. The people that usually complain about emojis are those who can't use them properly. Laughing emoji, laughing, crying emoji on its side, whatever that means. It looks like they're showing their teeth for the dentist, and then an ordinary crying emoji. For crying out loud. 50 years old. 50 going on 5. We do seem to be becoming more infantile. The infantilization of the human race continues apace. Let's have a call. Have I got time to do this? Probably not. A couple of minutes. I'll take some more calls after the new news. But not that one. You see that one there? Not that one. I mean, I've heard that call over and over and over again. It's the same blooming call every single day. Take a break, please. Elton says, "You don't like emojis? That's rich coming from a bloke who punctuates his whole show with audible emojis." What audible emojis? Tim texts, "On finally leaving the EU, last night I received an email from the Tory party. It was from Boris Johnson, titled, 'My Address to the Nation.' Apparently it's 10 Downing Street, London, SW1A 2AA. A listener with material, Boris.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
And this message says, "Too late for the plague to get rid of 17.4 million people." Wow. Why can't people just get along? I mean, is there any chance that we'll just start getting along?
No.
Yeah, and furthermore...
No.
Jacob says, "Last night Uncle Nige told us we were free from and had beaten the establishment, and then proceeded to sing the national anthem." Honestly, the stuff that's been happening in this country over the last couple of years, it's just, it's amazing. There was a couple of really good pieces in the papers today. I plucked some of them out. I'll share one, maybe two with you, just encapsulate. I find it quite surprising when I read columns of the journalists who say the things that I said the previous night. I'm not suggesting that they listen to this show, just that I am completely correct in every respect. People should pay more attention to this programme. Yeah, keep your ears open at all times. Otherwise, you might miss something important.
Listen to him. He knows everything.
So this is where we are now. Police are investigating after a poster was put up inside a city council block ordering residents to speak English on the day that Britain left the European Union. Ew. And I have that letter right here. As we finally have our great country back, we feel there is one rule that needs to be made clear to Winchester Tower residents. We do not tolerate people speaking other languages than English in the flats. We are now our own country again, and the Queen's English is the spoken tongue here. We are now our own country again. God, the amount of people that were interviewed by news types last night who came out with stuff like that. Just unformed thoughts from troglodytes. We are now our own country again. What the hell does that mean? If you do want to speak whatever is the mother tongue of the country you came from, then we suggest you return to that place and return your flat to the council so they can let British people live here, and we can return to what was normality before you infected this once great island. It's a simple choice. Obey the rule of the majority or leave. You won't have long till our government will implement rules that will put British first, so best evolve or leave. God save the Queen, her government, and all true patriots. Wow. Yeah, well, that's our future right there. Unless we pay a lot of attention, that's our future right there. We will be the subject of the History Channel in 50 years' time, and people will be staring at it open-mouthed and shaking their heads in amazement, thinking, how can a nation have done that? Yeah, well, really easily, by allowing people to get away with that kind of stuff. Good grief. Catherine in Brentwood says, hello, I'm 73 and I use emojis on my computer. Haven't got one of those phones. Only does calls and texts, no internet, no emojis. Good, I'm glad to hear it, Catherine. You want to wean yourself off them. I'm on about 3 or 4 emojis a day now, man, but I can handle it. I'm just having difficulty expressing myself, that's all. Twickenham. Mike.
Oh, hi, Nick. Firstly, may I say you are far and away my most favourite LBC presenter. And since I've been over here from New Zealand, I try not to miss your show. I just wish we had someone half as good as you in New Zealand.
Well, thanks, Mike.
I'm not trying to grease you up or anything. That's from the heart. You just keep an interesting hour out. I don't know how you do it.
Drugs, Mike.
I mean,
I'm on a lot of drugs. But go ahead.
And look, the second thing, just Donald Trump, the orange man,
yeah.
he said something quite telling during this interview with Nigel Farage on LBC. It just demonstrated his casual racism, which no one else has even picked up on, and I was quite astounded, so I thought I'd mention it.
Yeah.
But do you recall during the conversation, all of a sudden, Trump just says, and it's out of the blue, he says, there's the American politician, she's a female politician, I call her Pocahontas,
yeah.
and she doesn't like that.
Mm.
And he starts laughing, and of course Nigel Farage has to laugh as well. And I mean, this is the leader of the free world. He's meant to be an example for everybody.
Yeah, isn't it Elizabeth Warren?
Yes, I'm sorry, I don't recall the name, but I remember the word Pocahontas, which is she is, I believe she's a Native American.
No, she isn't. She claimed to have Native American genes. I think it's Elizabeth Warren, but it turned out to be a vanishingly small amount. So Donald Trump, as with anybody that he feels threatened by, he comes up with one of these infantile nicknames.
Yes, well, I lived in America for a few years, and Pocahontas, even used as a joke, is extremely offensive in any way if you're referring to anything to do with Native Americans. You'd be thrown out of the house.
Yeah, well, it was thrown out of the house, but not out of the White House.
Yeah, that is just extraordinary, Nick. And look, and the other thing, last night, I didn't mean to feel I was just focusing on the English. I mean, of course, there's racism, and there's racists in New Zealand and Australia. I mean, you see the better parts of town in New Zealand. I mean, it tends to be white people living there. I'm sorry, I have to say it. You don't see many Maoris living there. You don't see many Aborigines in the better parts of Sydney.
Yeah.
So I mean, racism it's all over, like you said. Well, not racism, but people like to live together, don't they? Of the same ethnicity. I don't know what it is. But
Well, what it is racism has got white people to where we are today.
Yeah. I mean, there was a New Zealand guy. He was the Premier of Queensland, Bilky Peterson, and he was the most racist. He's dead now, thank goodness. But when he was the Premier of Queensland, it was said that any non-white person wouldn't stay in Queensland any more than about a month because they just felt so uncomfortable. They couldn't live there.
I don't know. Okay, well, I don't know anything about Queensland or New Zealand other than Lord of the Rings. Looks pretty fantastic from here.
Yeah, but we have our fair share of racists. Don't worry about that.
Of course.
It's all over. But anyway, thanks, Nick.
Okay, thanks a lot, mate.
Call again.
Cheers,
Thank
mate.
you. Bye.
Ta-ta. 0345 6060 973. He was a nice guy. It was like he was yelling at me. Marion says, I think it was Barry Latigan. Barry Latigan? Connected to Twiggy, not David Bailey. Who's Barry Latigan? Or Late Again? I've never heard of him. Lucas texts, a huge airport in Brazil is showing flinging information on their panels with emojis. Delayed, for example, is an angry red face. Well, that's understandable because of the international nature of an airport. I mean, not everybody speaks English or Spanish or Chinese or any of these things. Everybody understands an angry red face. So some people actually vote for them.
Oh, shut up!
0345 6060 973. By the way, if you like this show, then you can listen to the whole show again. We strip the ads out, the news out and all that jazz, and we stick them up after the... Have you done it yet?
I have no idea.
Well, no is the answer. Because it's down to you. He hasn't done it yet. People have been complaining on email. But he will, make no bones about that. But you can listen back to previous shows and the podcast that I do, which is called the Nick Abbot Habit, which is the best of that I put together with my own sticky fingers. And it lasts about half an hour. It comes out Monday at noon. You'll find the Nick Abbot Habit. You can get it where you get podcasts. And also, me and Carol McGiffin are doing a podcast.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, I think you'll find it's amusing. It's called What's Your Problem with Nick and Carol? When Carol McGiffin and I try to say, well, try is perhaps pushing it a bit, when we make a fist at solving your problems, which, by the way, you can give to us by email, nickandcarol@global.com, NICKANDCAROL @global.com. You tell us what your problem is, and we will try to solve it. The podcast, by the way, you can find on Global Player, which is the app that we have here, which is so much to amuse and entertain on that. It will blow your mind.
Groovy.
You can get that from your favourite app store, Global Player, or you can find them wherever you get your podcasts. Just type in my name and podcast, and everything will become clear. Let's have a call in Leatherhead. Tim.
Nick, hi, how are you doing?
Good, thanks.
I spoke to you a couple of weeks ago, and we were joking about the music that they might play last night in Westminster.
Oh, right.
And I was actually there. I couldn't resist, I'm afraid. There was sort of perverse voyeurism. I had to go and see it.
Yeah, like a social science experiment. Yeah. So what did they play?
Well,
did they do Happiness?
There wasn't a lot of Well, look. They did actually, I didn't believe you, but they did actually play the Dam Busters theme.
You're kidding me.
I'm not kidding. They had
God.
They had it on a loudspeaker through a megaphone, and they played 6C3 Squadron and The Great Escape.
Really?
Yep.
You are
and then
making it up. Please
I'm
tell
not,
me that's
I'm
not
absolutely
true.
not. It
Oh,
was-
for
but I'll tell you
crying
what,
out
it was-
loud. You desperate,
it was
pathetic,
frightening.
sad little people.
And a group singing "We'll Meet Again."
Oh.
But it's not surprising that Farage, in his own speech, said the war is over. We won.
And when he says we, he wasn't really including the crowd in that, I bet. He meant him and his close personal billionaire friends who would to toast their success with £100 bottles of champagne in the Ritz. That fag and a pint act is just that, an act.
But you've heard the good news today, though, haven't
What's
you?
that?
In the sun. Well, I've been a bit tired today because I've been so busy unleashing my potential that I've had to go to bed early.
Yeah.
No, it's actually started to happen. You must have heard on the news. The Maldives has rejoined the.
Oh, that's right. Yes, that's great
we
news.
walked away from the biggest single market on the planet, but we got the Maldives.
The Maldives, yeah. We'll be able to trade with them and buy all of their. We'll be able to buy all of the things that the Maldives make, like.
Well, until they sink under the sea.
Yeah, which will be any moment now. Yeah, up to their nostrils in seawater they are. The Maldives are back in the Commonwealth. Isn't that great news?
No.
No, who cares?
Nick, one last thing. Can I
Yeah.
can I have the banjo sound effect again, please?
I'm afraid that I don't have that to hand. There you go. Thanks a lot, Tim. 0345 6060 973. So was there anybody there last night that can confirm that? Oh, my God. I said that as a joke. Half as a joke, that those are the things that they would play from the stage for the little flag wavers. The theme to 66633 Squadron, they played that. Did they do Battle of Britain? Oh my God, it's worse than I thought. It's beyond parody, isn't it? Desperately clinging on to the one thing that people think that we won. That's why the History Channel is just pumping out that stuff day after day after day, because people of a certain age they're just like reliving that over and over again, waving their little flag. Oh, we won. God, if they're not banging on about that, it's 1966. Other than that, they got nothing. And maybe that's why they cling to this so closely, that they think that they've won something again. God, it's painful. It really is. They only took 70 years. Now we've won something again. This says, speaking of dressing badly, did you see those idiots from Romford yesterday on BBC One wearing suits made entirely out of Union Jack patterns? Well, I saw some idiots wearing what you just described. Yeah, I don't know where they were from. But if I had to guess, then I would have said Romford. That would be my guess. And as I've done all the promos in the podcast, I don't need to do it now. My work is done. Until I'm back on the radio Friday, Saturday and Sunday night at 10. And until then, I'll be seeing you.
Bye-bye.